Hello. Hello, hello, hello. In your side, a webo. A webo indeed. Hello, Borkasen. Hello, hello. Okay, almost done clicking around. Is this the radical self-hosted Git server? Yeah. Yep. Indeed. That's what it is. It's pretty cool. They do have some nice design going on, without a doubt. Um, like now that I've started using the project a little bit more, it's more clear to me how new it is and what is missing. And there's a lot of stuff missing. It's a very new project. But despite that, what is there, it's very nice. Like especially these, source code viewing, diffs. Again, it's not perfect, but it is really nice. So um my point is that this part is like impressive. The consistency of like how thorough are the things that have been implemented so far, UI wise. Also, apparently, I'm not the only one that started looking into Radical in the Z community. So I saw an announcement for a new release. Um, that came out yesterday. So this one 010.1. Look at the list of contributors. Look at this guy. We know this guy. That's crypto code. He's the one that runs Zigbin.io. Not exclusively that, but like just to name one thing. So yeah. Which by the way reminds me I should update. Okay, does the update script work even if I have stuff running? Does it know what to do? There's no version. Okay, cool. So what do we want to do? I started recently looking into a webo. Actually, last stream I looked into it a bit. And then I got stuck trying to get it to work, and I couldn't figure out why. And it was me actually missing something stupid that I thought I fixed that I didn't. So long story short, I'm capable of running a Weibo right now because they fixed it and now everything works. You know what? Just for the sake of it, I'll do a demo. Although, oh, you know what? I'll do a demo as is. So this is a Weibo running uh, against a local server. I can join a voice call. I can turn on screen share, and it crashes. Why? It crashes because there's a hard expectation that we're able to pull this off. Either we are able to get H.265 video toolbox encoding or H.264, and neither works out in the end. So that crashes. It crashes with A2Do, but I mean, yeah, right now it is A2Do, but man, that is not expected. At least on macOS, that should not happen. I guess what we could do is just show a pop-up window that says unable to start screen share um, because couldn't find a suitable codec. So that's how we could make it happen. But on Mac, that should never be the case. Also because we were targeting like modern enough macOS machines, so they all will have either of these things available to them. So either or both. So there's that. Why is this happening? Well, this is happening because we are linking against our own FFmpeg, which for some reason has stuff that is missing. And if we simply take this out and uh, and run again, let's see if it has to do any work. Oh, it's compiling FFmpeg still? Curious. Why? I'm not even linking against it anymore. Oh, wait. I think I know why. Okay, let me see if I can fix this because I will, just for the sake of simplifying the build script. I guess it's because we're linking here, right? Yeah, that actually doesn't even do anything at the present. So, oh, and that makes that unused. Okay. But now we can finally AV codec. Right, that is fair. I was still leveraging that thing. Oh, wait a second. Um, has this already ever worked? I don't think this has ever worked. So in any case, what we want is this t.add. I think this is t.link system library. Is this actually it? Okay, one sec. I'm fiddling with this a little bit. So I can do that to the module, but doing that to the module, I mean, actually, that would kind of work. But then that means that we need to do this. Wait, so, but this doesn't solve the headers problem though. Okay, we need to, the translator needs to be aware of what we're trying to do. And then this could be even t.mod. I'm actually curious. Would doing t.mod work? Actually, why is this? This should be offered by the API of TranslateC. Okay, let's take a look at what TranslateC has for us. Now I'm like all in into the translator API madness. Let's see. Ah, there we go. Link system libs. Yeah, there we go. Link system libs. Okay, so let's keep this commented out. Like this? Oh, no, 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 no. More complicated, of course. Oh, name an option. Okay. Needed, weak, prefer link mode, search strategy. Okay. Which is literally what I had down here. Okay, let's see how this goes. Unable to add source file video toolbox. File not found. In Translate C. I think here we need to do this. Right? That did not make any difference. Oh, you know what? Maybe this is exposing the fact that we don't have the toolbox in there. That that doesn't really answer the question though. So okay, man, I'm going down so many rabbit holes. I'm not done going down rabbit holes. So here's what I'm noticing. That we're using Xcode frameworks from Brodo. Okay. So this is, as far as I know, the most complete version of Xcode frameworks. Although that should be put to the test. What you got? What you got for me? Do you have Video Toolbox? We have Video Toolbox indeed. Are we up to date with the latest? Maybe we could try updating this to the latest, just to make sure we don't forget anything. What is this called? Xcode underscore frameworks. Oh, this is downloading something outdated. Okay. Let's see how Zig GUI goes now. Okay, unable to add source file video toolbox file not found. This error message seems weird. Why is this saying source file in video toolbox? This error message makes me think that I'm trying to do something real dumb somewhere. Okay, here's what we can do. Maybe we can temporarily omit this stuff and just rely on what we have in our system. See what happens now. Okay, now we're using native stuff. Okay, this is something really dumb that I must have written somewhere. I just don't know where. Where have I written this dumb stuff? Is it in my C files? No. 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 Is it in one of my things in here? I haven't touched them in a while, so I've seen also them compile. So none of this should be the case. How how am I landing in here? And this is part of Translate C. So this is the output file. Link C, link AV util, link AV codec, module libs, client C, resource there. Okay, this is surprising to me. This is a new error that I have not seen yet. How do we end up here? Ooh. Man, I just wanted to demo something, and then this opened a giant can of worms. But this is also kind of good. Like, I want to iron out these problems. So, yeah. Oh, you know what? No, this is necessary. Okay, I don't know if that fixes the problem, but now that I remember, this is necessary because client.c wants to import a WebOC, and to be able to import a WebOC, it needs to have that available. So that is definitely a step in the right direction. Now, I think we can re-enable this because now we know that we can trust Xcode frameworks to have our back. Also, zone file. Let me see. Xcode frameworks. Do we have, like, by any chance, two copies of the same thing with different names? No, we don't. Okay. Just rerun it. Just to double check. Because I don't trust my movements with the editor. Okay, up to date. Okay, so this is all good. So somewhere I'm saying video toolbox when I shouldn't be saying video toolbox. Oh, wait a second. So maybe this is something that I shouldn't be doing. Hard to say. This seems inconsequential. To be fair, what does this look like on the other side? Hello, Penguin. So let's see. Link system libs. Should libraries be imported as modules or installed? Should static functions be translated as pub? Should function bodies keep macro literals, default init, structures arrays, extra args to be passed to arrow? Okay. Oh, there we go. So you can do link library. Links lib to t.mode and exposes any headers installed by lib to translate C. Add object, add include path, add system include path, add framework path, add system framework path, add embed path. I feel like I'm starting to have deja vus. Um, oh, this is suggesting to, instead of creating a c.h file, this is suggesting to embed this in the build script. Huh. Hmm. So frankly, this shouldn't even matter, I think. Yeah, okay. I wonder how I got translate C to start and include a file named video toolbox and causing an error. I think we're starting to narrowing it down because there aren't that many situations where that could have happened. Like this guy, this guy is not mentioning it. None of these things are mentioning it whatsoever. So where is video toolbox coming into play? I think I need to start commenting stuff out. Yeah, so this is referenced when adding an include path. Yeah, this is it. This is literally it. So let's look at what the server does. Maybe I have some dumb stuff going on with the server because we also try to build the server. Okay, one second. Is setup CI also uncommented? No. You know what? Let's comment this out as well. That's the step. So server has its own translator. Server.c. Yeah. Yeah, this is literally it. Unless the problem is that something is trying to depend on video toolbox, and the problem is that this is not being made available to translate C. Hmm. Do you know when the talks from System Distributed 26 will be released? I don't know precisely, but I suspect it's not gonna take long. Usually, Tiger is pretty fast at releasing those. So, um, yeah, stay strong for a little bit more. Um, okay. What is my next theory? Okay, my next theory is that something wants to import Video Toolbox. Video Toolbox is not available to the translator, and that is the next thing that we need to figure out. So, so this doesn't do anything, and I agree that this at this point probably is not the right way of going at it. But it seems that we are missing a way of saying I want to link against these frameworks. So how do you link against frameworks? Unless systemlib can include also frameworks. No, because mm, okay, link library links against a library that you provide. Add object, add include path, add framework path. Define macro. None of these really does it. And yet, I remember messing with some of this stuff. Out of curiosity, what if this is what is supposed to be like video toolbox? Out of curiosity, would that solve it? I don't think so. Now we're back to square zero. Hmm. Would uncommenting this solve it? No. Okay, this is surprising. I don't know what is causing this. Also, why was this working before? Before I started messing with it, it was working. Damn, I got stuck so quickly. Hello, Calder. Good day to you as well. I'm actually curious to see what my comment history looks like before I made these changes. I'm wondering if I, by any chance, if I've obliterated um, some modifications that I did to translate C, maybe. Um, I just forgot that I did those things, and so maybe that's why this happened. This is happening. Actually, let's look at the zone file. Did we change translate C? Probably yes. Oh, wait, what? No. There was no translate C? Oh, snap. There was no translate C at all. Okay, so that means that we are looking at uncharted waters. This is new stuff. Oh, you know what? I was probably relying on some pre-translated version of these headers. And yet though, how was I testing all the different things? Was it like in a branch? Did I have a branch that I forgot about? There's one. There's one. There's one. These are all. There's this one, but the 1, 2, and 3 seem promising actually. But that doesn't answer. This doesn't answer this from the side of Translate C. Hmm. Translator to 16. Add framework path. Isn't uppercase F for linking to frameworks? Hello, 11. Wait, has this become more confusing for no reason? Wait a second. Dash F? No, it's not dash F. It's dash framework. I see. Is this because it's not necessary? I'm having trouble remembering, and I think that the answer is that this is not necessary because frameworks are always available, and when Mac tries to solve something, you don't have to put anything on the path, on the CLI because it will automatically find them. I'm starting to have these flashbacks. I think we can test this. Uh, 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 What's in macOS.c? Yeah. So let's simplify this. Core services.h. Yeah. And if you make up a fake name, compilation will fail. Okay, so you do not have to explicitly link against frameworks. And that is good. So why are we here then? What is the problem then? God damn it. God damn it. So we don't need this. Yeah, you only need this for actual proper linking, not for compiling. Yeah, because I remember implementing the logic for. So I mean I'm the one who implemented the logic for resolving frameworks in Translate C. And I forgot what was the situation when it comes to the like to the interface of it. Okay, so we're slowly getting back to it. Um, so what is causing our thing to fail? It has to be okay. So here's how we're gonna break it a different way. If I go here and I comment out this stuff, then when we build, it still complains about video toolbox. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Who is pulling in video toolbox? Is it somehow something malformed in Xcode frameworks that's causing this to happen? Because otherwise, I cannot understand what is causing this. Maybe it's this that's pulling in those header files, but it shouldn't. They should only, those header files should be only looked at if that is it. C doesn't have AV codec context. True. Okay. So the problem truly stems from dealing with those header files. Because now that makes them available. Wait, is that a regression in Translate C that now is failing to resolve this? Oh no. Well, this is getting video toolbox, but not directly. It's getting there this way. Hmm. Out of curiosity. There we go. What? Yeah, we're missing AV context. I'm a bit confused though. Oh wait, that okay. Then I comment this out. Oh shit. Type specifier missing. There are a lot of errors now. What is it? Control up? No. Alt up. Command up. Okay. Okay, so this did get us into the framework stuff. But that caused a mess of errors. So we're definitely unable to translate these header files. This surprises me because how the heck did we get to a building situation then? How did this build then before? Yeah, and enabling these guys gets us back to this situation. Okay, so what I had before is that I was doing FFmpeg. This was my trick. So was this really it? That is insane. That's how I was making it work. Incredible. This is how I was dodging the bugs. I had no idea. So like that random choice that I made, yeah, look, and now screen sharing works. That random choice that I made actually made me run through the lasers, essentially. That is insane. Holy shit. Okay. What a wild adventure. What a wild adventure. Uh we need to comment this. Otherwise, I'm gonna forget about this. What was the random choice? So the random choice was when setting up the translator, instead of having it correctly link against system libraries, which is not real linking. Actually, no, this would be real linking because this also links the system library to the module that this guy produces. But this, most importantly, is necessary to get the header files to become available. But these header files, but this way, with these header files, we end up in a bunch of limitations of translate C, while instead, I, as a hack, I did this earlier. I pointed translate C at the header files included in the FFmpeg dependency. So, long story short, I'm not linking against the static library produced by FFmpeg because it's commented out. I am linking to, but this is like real linking, strictly linking against libavutil and libavcodec. But then instead of doing it correctly, which would be you just do it. So the correct way would be in translator, you link against the system libraries that will both translate the header files and do the actual linking. But if you do this, that causes errors in translate C because it starts translating, you know, some freaking Apple header file that has weird syntax in it, I guess. So if you instead comment this out, you do the linking in your own module, and then I don't use the static library that my FFmpeg dependency from all your code base would be able to give me, and instead I just include its header files in here, then it works out. Um, the reason why I'm doing system dependencies instead of using my own FFmpeg is because my own FFmpeg, I don't know why, but I have to figure it out yet. But this FFmpeg does not have the video stuff enabled correctly. I tried to enable it. I think I made some progress, but I at the very least, I didn't test all the video stuff, but I did try the hardware accelerated stuff, and the hardware accelerated stuff did not work out correctly. So because of that, I wanted to link against the system stuff. And apparently this is the only setup that makes it work correctly, which is kind of bonkers. But that's how it is. And I was really confused because I was facing these errors that made it look like made it seem like, these are big errors that you're not going to be able to um, circumvent all that easily. And yet, holy shit, this lossless compression codec is so fucking cool, man. So FFmpeg has a lossless compression codec. That means that when you're using it, it's lossless compression but video. So like PNG but video, and I have it enabled in Awebo, so you can do lossless screen share. So you know how in Discord you have the option to do higher quality but lower frame rate and whatever the fuck. Cool, but how about straight up lossless screen share? I think that's cooler. So anyway, awesome job, FFmpeg people. Thank you very much. Um, actually, you know what? I'm kind of curious. Okay, so in theory, then this is it, right? For swapping to one implementation from one implementation to the other. Let me see if this builds trivially. It should. Well, I mean, if it doesn't, it's because I forgot to set something in the build system. But I want to see if this enables at least the. Oh wait, no, this has to be done with my fork. Um, I want to see if this enables the lossless codec, which I thought I enabled, but hello, finally more Webo. Yes, indeed. We're still not fully out of the pain train. Okay, FFV1 decoder enabled. Encoder enabled. Vulkan. Yeah, right. This guy doesn't have a lot of hardware accelerated versions. It only has Vulkan. Okay, let's see. Let's see if at least this is turned on. Okay, so if I try to do screen share normally, it's gonna crash. But what about with FF? Oh, this is turned on though, huh? Okay, so this is so interesting. So okay, check this out. The lossless codec is turned on, but look at the delay. Look at the delay from when I move to when something moves in the window. Now I turn this off. And now I do this. I need to change the build script. Not this build script. Okay, I have too much stuff open. Yeah. No. Yes. It was it. Okay, so now I turn off our own library and I turn on this one. And I build, which shouldn't take long because, I mean, this should be instant because I've already built it. Okay. So now I connect, turn on lossless compression, turn this on. This is a lot more responsive than the other version. So like that other version is missing some hardware acceleration that this one has on. For sure. It's not instant, right? There is a tiny delay between when I move and when the preview moves. But it's definitely better than the other one. So how do we do this then? Let's add some comments. How are you handling sound mixing and streaming to listeners? I'm handling sound mixing on macOS using a system API called AV Audio Engine. Audio Engine is an API for creating audio streams, and then there's an API that kind of gives you like primitives like connect to the graph, disconnect, like you connect and disconnect nodes, and that essentially that implements the audio operations. Unfortunately, that API is bad, and I need to rip it out and swap it with something else. But it is what it is for now. And so and streaming to listeners, I've implemented my own UDP protocol to send packets over the network. Simple as that. Or rather, it's it's something simple. A real solution requires more sophistication than what I have right now. Like if you lose packets, the thing kind of survives, but also it's not as smart as it could be. So you need a jitter buffer. You need some of this stuff, and I have I have a simplistic jitter buffer implementation for now. Okay, I'm trying to comment. I'm gonna comment the madness that is currently happening here, and then I don't know. We can try to aim. We can try to point our aim at something more productive, which I don't know what it should be, but yeah. Okay. Okay. This is the story. First time tuning in for web development. Why does it use SDL3 by default? Have you tested it with some other backend? Um, I have not tested it with other backends. Which other backends would you suggest? Uh, Dear wise alligator. um, so yeah, no, I haven't. I think we use maybe we use SDL2. I think in the past, but then DVI started. I think I don't know if it's now default if it defaults to SDL3, but in any case, SDL3 works well enough that you can switch to it. Other than that, I don't know what other backends are there. Isn't there a WIO backend for the VUI? What is WIO? Is that Zig made SDL? Frankly, I am not up to speed with regards to the backends. With regards to DVUI's backends. Kind of SDL in Zig. I see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion. I'm sure that there must be differences, but right now this is not near the top of my concerns. So um, we use DVUI so that we can have a GUI running, right? That seems kind of obvious. For now, the GUI work that we're doing is very basic. Like you can see that this GUI does not look good. It's like barely. It's functional. Like like here's where I spent the effort. Having this thing that keeps loading old messages as you scroll up, and then it pages out newer messages, and then you scroll down and it pages in newer messages again as you scroll down. So that's what I put effort into. Apparently there's also search. 68 will give me message 68. Again, this is there's no button to close this, by the way. so the I guess you can issue an empty search that closes it. So you can this tests the search backend, the search API more than anything else. So the UI work is right now just barely what is necessary to be able to reach for functionality. I haven't put much effort into any of this stuff really. The VUI has Raylib or Vulkan. Just wondering if you have a reason or run into problems with other backends. Raylib or Vulkan. Wait, are those even? Aren't those like two different levels of abstraction? Isn't Raylib something that exists on top of something else? Isn't Raylib itself depending on SDL? I might be wrong. I might be totally wrong. But my impression is that isn't Vulkan like a lower level graphics API? Also, we are on macOS, so right now. So on macOS, you would want a Metal GPU backend, right? I think the Vulkan requires some glue stuff running somewhere, so it's not fully native. Flow uses WIO for its GUI with Sokol for the GPU layer. Sokol for the GPU layer. So Sokol gives you drawing primitives. Where would Sokol and Raylib be placed then? One relation to the other. Does Raylib also give you? Raylib uses GLFW and OpenGL. Oh, there we go. Right. So Raylib is an abstraction on top of some graphics API, and it is on top of OpenGL specifically. Yeah. In any case, I don't know. Right now, I'm not really shopping for WO can replace GLFW. That is the layer it sits at. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so right now I'm not really shopping for different backends. I mean, the point is that they're backends, right? So you should be able to swap to one or the other as you see fit. I think that the one situation where I would be interested in being more opinionated with regards to the backend is the day where we want to fine tune how video playback works in a Weibo, because there is a fast path that you can implement where you use hardware accelerated video decoding, and there's a way in which you keep that texture in the, well, essentially you render to a texture that's already on the GPU, and you don't have to essentially take that thing, read it into your own memory, and then resend it to the GPU, because it's already in the GPU as it's being decoded. So that would essentially make it more efficient to render video in a Weibo. I don't think that it would make a difference in terms of being able to play video versus not playing video. But it would probably be, like a battery saving measure, or like in any case, a performance enhancement. So that part, I think I would be interested, but we're not quite there yet because we don't have multi-platform support really. And also the audio stuff that I have on macOS, it's all jank. So yeah. Yeah, we consider also the web stuff. The idea was, the vague idea, extremely vague, was to have a web last approach where instead of making a web client, we build a Weibo for WebAssembly, and we run a WebAssembly build of a Weibo in the browser. That is something that I've considered. The problem is that we do make use of multi-threading, and WASM is horrible when it comes to multi-threading. And the problem is that it's either multi-threading or some kind of non-blocking I/O that we need to be able to do. And WebAssembly really freaking sucks when it comes to non-blocking I/O, because you cannot do green threads currently, because the green threads are a proposal that is not being implemented yet. I don't know if it will even be accepted. Probably yes, but it's not implemented at the moment. So we cannot do green threads. Normal threads are a nightmare, and we could do stackless coroutines in theory, but Zig doesn't support stackless coroutines today. So long story short, the dream of having a pure, a brainless build of a Weibo for WebAssembly, brainless as in you don't even have to think about it much, right? Because it's just the same thing compiled for WASM. We can't even use Juicy Main from WASM. I believe you can. Oh no, you totally can. Not that it makes much of a difference. Juicy Main is mainly convenience, but you totally can. If you use Juicy Main from WASM, you also will get like the list of preopens from there. So no, it not only works, it's designed to work, but also it's not a big deal. Juicy Main is syntax sugar essentially that is given to you by the start function. So before your main function is called, there's another function which is implemented in the Z standard library. If you go to std.start, you will find in there the implementation. And you will see what it does to give you things. I tried a couple of times, I couldn't work it out. If you want an example of that in the wild, this is my Super HTML is my HTML language server, which I do build for WebAssembly because that's how I distribute it for VS Code. So if you want to use Super HTML in VS Code, you just need to download the extension. You don't need to have a CLI tool installed, because the extension bundles a WebAssembly build of the language server, which gets run inside of VS Code. And this is the main function of Super HTML when built for WebAssembly. And yeah, no, it's all well and good. And this is actually the simpler one. There is the Ziggy LSP that actually has more nuanced needs. So the Zig LSP, I think, also cares about it cares about a specific pre-open. The Zig LSP requires to have a particular pre-open available when built for WASI. So pre-opens are also here. So no, it's like the pre-open is a WebAssembly concept, and um, it's in there. So it's specifically designed for you to be able to use it. In my case, it's related to Mscripten. I could totally see that. Yeah, you should try to avoid using Mscripten. I was trying to build a Raylib project into a web world using Mscripten. Okay, I believe that if you use Mscripten, then then you lose control over the starting point or something like this. I don't know precisely how Mscripten works. I have a vague idea. I know that it's essentially like a libc plus a bunch of extra machinery to glue everything together and make it WASI and make like C code WASI compatible. But yeah, that might very well be a situation where, given how Mscripten works, it might be that you end up not being able to have this stuff work out correctly. So yeah, I cannot help you with that, unfortunately. Other than I have the general feeling that it's a good idea to avoid Mscripten if you can, which might not be an option if you want to do Raylib in the browser. I get that. Um, I guess what I would suggest is consider switching to the VUI, because with the VUI you don't need Mscripten to do GUI in the browser. Hey, Julian. Hello. I'm excited to see some more Weibo. Yeah, I did not have much time recently being sick. Sorry about that. Or enjoying the weather. Glad about that. I have a half-finished PR with more arm arrow improvements, mainly for BSD and freestanding. Oh, that is nice. Thank you. You know, also what I know. So I don't know if you've been watching or followed at all what happened in the last couple of days. So I've got a Weibo to build again on macOS, but Linux and Windows, I believe, are still not working. Linux fails with something related to Pulse Audio. Windows fails because of translate C errors in the libc itself. So it's a translate C issue still. I think we should work more actively toward those things. Also, another thing that I mentioned in passing that I would like to ask our Weibo contributors to please indulge me in is to move temporarily for a while development of a Weibo to Radical, which doesn't mean not updating Codeberg. It means that if we want to coordinate on issues, to do that on Radical. I want to get some experience working with issues and patches on Radical rather than Codeberg. and because I want to see how this stuff works, testing it out, and I need a real project to do that. So I was hoping that people would indulge me and do that for a while. Um, to see how radical is essentially. Yeah, that problem is definitely testable with cross compilation, no doubt. Like pushing to radical is pretty freaking fast if you have your own server. That's for sure. I mean, as it should be. But the one thing that I personally really like about radical, and that people don't, I think people who haven't tried it uh, misunderstand, in my opinion, is that yes, it is a peer-to-peer system, but for the use case of you have your own server, like for the use case of you have your own tiny group of people that collaborate together, where at least one of them has a always on server running. Um, what you're doing is essentially the normal Git workflow. There is almost no peer to peer shenanigans going on, and then um, the peer to peer stuff happens detached from you. It happens once you've done the initial synchronization, and then it's your always on seed that propagates this stuff to other people when they need it, mainly. So it's essentially a traditional workflow for you, um, plus the extra synchronization afterwards. So I don't know. The point is that people think, oh, peer to peer, so it's like BitTorrent. That is not exactly the same experience that you have with BitTorrent. With BitTorrent, you have a very different experience than this, because with BitTorrent, BitTorrent doesn't rely on always on servers as much. It doesn't have those, and also the data that you transfer is orders of magnitude bigger than what you transmit. Whenever you push a commit, um, like the whole situation is different enough that your experience with BitTorrent is really not indicative um, of what your experience will be with this setup. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna open an issue on Weibo and point this out. Let's say moving collaboration. Mm. Artificial awareness state people's commit bit. Um, so what I want to say is that I'm waiting for a feature update from Radical in order to do that, because the problem is that right now the way that the ability to push to master works um, is a little bit problematic. Essentially, you end up giving to people a lot of power, including essentially they when you give people push access to them, like on Codeberg, they can push to the repo, great, but they don't have the ability to, for example, remove other admins. So they can't kick them other people out, including you. And in Radical, the way this works right now is that these things are all a little bit too conflated. They have a thing that they're working on to make this better. Um, it's called CRFs, but until that is, I think that is partially implemented. It's just not implemented for the main branch. So in any case, it's getting there. Rouge. Hmm. Well, let's put it this way. Which consists of making all operations faster. Hmm. The command run config push is obsolete. Yeah, but I mean, that's what my dashboard tells me to do. Actually, where does, well, they were saying to do it somewhere in here. Can I pin this? Is there a concept of a pinned issue? Yes. Add a policy on generative models. Not an Elfi. Mm-mm-mm. Apparently, we cannot close any of this because um, Linux is just broken. Uh, can we do muscle? I no, I don't think we can. In any case, yeah, it just poops itself. Pulse audio unused, radio unused. Is there like an update to this? You know what? Maybe there's maybe we can see if there's an update in all your code base. Is it just pulls? Wait a second. Am I going insane? Is this not in all your code base? It's Andrews? I thought we had this stuff in all the code base. I think I never, you know what? I think I didn't zig fetch this. Also, why are we doing a tarball? Why are we doing a tarball? I think he just prefers tarballs. Okay, it kept the lazy aspect. That's good. Good job. Ah, there we go. Unable to find static system library icon V using strategy paths first. The heck is icon V? Have icon V1. Is this in all your code base by any chance? I don't even know what icon V is. Please, GitHub sir, just load the page. Oh my fucking god. Mm-mm. There does not seem to be any icon V. Wait, where is Mason's static stuff? Was it Pulse Audio? It's not here. I think that you know what? I think that Mason was collaborating on all your code base, but it's not Pulse Audio. Is Pipewire, right? Right. Okay. So right. But do we even use Pulse Audio on Linux? I don't even think we do right now. Or maybe we do. Wait. Um wait, right. This is not Pulse Audio. This has nothing to do with Pulse Audio. Okay. Like the fact that this is called Icon, what does that have to do with audio? Nothing. Um it's probably something else. Is Icon being mentioned explicitly anywhere in here? So that means that we can re-enable Pulse Audio. That's fine. There's no mention of Icon V. I'm guessing that's DVUI thing? No? Where is Icon V coming from? FFmpeg? Shit. Internationalization conversion. Wait, you're saying that this stupid ass thing is just a. But isn't this part of libc then? Also, this is mentioned in like 2 files. Requires icon v ff sub char enc mode pre-decoder. So who's trying to link against this stuff? Oh, there we go. Config icon v false. Who's pulling in this stuff? Who is pulling in this stuff? God damn it. Maybe for subtitles, but the thing is that the icon we mentioned in the ffmpeg build script, config icon v, has it set to false. So usually when a project like ffmpeg has a bunch of optional dependencies that you might have or not have as you're building it, and for which in turn you would want to turn certain subsets of features on and off, then by setting that config option to false, you disable it, or to 0, whatever that value was. So um, so in general, the fact that that is false means that ffmpeg should not be asking for it. Also, on top of that, I can tell you that if that is not something that is in the C-standard library, and it is a library that you need to explicitly link against, well, I was about to say, then we would also be getting a header error, I think. Actually, that would be true inside of Translate C. That would not be true necessarily. Well, wait a second. Let me think about it. No, the fact that those, it depends on where these things are mentioned. Where was I? Was it in here? Well, in any case, wherever we were looking at this stuff, um, it would have to be different. So I don't know who's pulling in like icon v. I guess that's another mystery to figure out. You know what? These are issues. These are issues that we should create on Radical so that we can test things as I actually wanted to do. Let's make issues for all these things. Okay. Or you know what? I can even use the GUI thing. There's the desktop client, which is actually pretty cool. New issue. Title. Although, you know what? I like being able to use my editor. The first line is the issue title, then description follows, must be separated by a blank line. Markdown is supported in the title and description. Okay, so title. Linux GUI client cross compilation. This currently fails. fails because of a missing library icon B. Um, it's unclear to me what exactly is pulling in this dependency that was not there before. Grabbing grabbing the VUI shows nothing, although it could be a dependency. Grabbing while grabbing FFmpeg does show a result, but oh shit, no, you know what? That is it. That is it. I actually answered it myself. The whole problem is that we're using system FFmpeg. That breaks cross compilation. That is it. Actually, I answered the question myself. Cross compilation is broken because we are linking against system FFmpeg. That is it. That is the answer. We actually knew it all along. So let's rephrase this issue. Re-enabling cross compilation. What we could try to do is link against the native one when we're targeting the native system, and then linking against the FFmpeg, the provided FFmpeg when cross compiling. That we could do. Yeah, you know what? Um, I think we should do this. So this stays essentially the same for now, but then this becomes conditional on whether it's the native target or not. How do I know if a target is native? Is that a query property? Yeah. If it's native triple, we do this. Else, we do this. So now this uses that FFmpeg. Yeah. That makes total sense. And you know why? Maybe we were pulling in icon B because we were using whatever my system has, and my system probably has that icon B stuff turned on. So man, that whole thing was never going anywhere. Okay. I think we should have an issue for the development of FFmpeg, essentially. We need improvements to FFmpeg. Yeah. It seems that we're not doing bad. I don't want to be too optimistic, but we might very well be able to pull it off. Let's see if I jinxed it. I jinxed it. Holy shit, this is it. Webcam capture has a buff print Z. Okay. In the dummy interface. Okay. There we go. Okay, we built. Cannot say if what the fuck is GLS? Is that GNU LS? I think that's GNU LS. In any case, yeah, okay. Linux works. It was actually not that far. Uh, okay. What about macOS cross compilation? We are on macOS. Um, okay, we could try x86-64 macOS. Oh, right. This is a very confusing problem that I'm getting from DVOI. So this is DVOI saying, well, when you're targeting non-native macOS, you need to provide system include path, system framework path, and system library path. Now, here's the thing, friend. Here is the thing, friend. I do provide these things to the VOI. These are the three options that this thing is referencing. That was added because of us. But these are the options, right? System include path, system framework path, library path. It's them. So why is this failing? Like, why is this? I think this is like a detection thing that is failing. I guess we can go check in the VUI. So we are providing these options. And then these options end up in here. Actually, wait, this is a step further. Are these not being instantiated correctly? They added an SDL3 prefix. I don't think they did. Wait, I'm starting to be confused. So the options that I think there's some wiring that is not happening as it should. Because are these values here, the VUI options, this is created based on these values here, which are correctly the things. Are you saying, okay, you know what? Just for curiosity, we can try. But I don't think this will do anything. Now watch me eat my words. But I don't think that is the case. Yeah. No. So this is not it. I think this is the correct interface. And then it's the VUI's job to wire them correctly. So this then gets wired to here. And then this gets passed down to SDL3. Oh, unless you're saying that this is the problem, where the SDL3 has a dependency. Has these named differently. But SDL3 should not accept random options. Well, fuck it, you know what? We could try. Actually, you know, we could go investigate this directly in there. Uh-oh. Flow is, I think, struggling. Yeah, the system framework path, library path. So no, these options do not have an SDL3 prefix. I think this might be just a logic failure, you know. So we enter here if target is not native and not system include path is null, framework path is null, library path is null. So if any of this is true, well, actually, for that to be true, all of them need to be null. If one of them is set, then this becomes false. But let's say that they are all null. If they are all null, this becomes true. This makes it false. So we don't enter here. But if any of them is set, then this becomes false. This makes it true. And then we enter here. I'm confused. Um, uh, here's what we can do. What happens if we? Hmm. I guess we could comment it out, but I mean, the truth is it correct to say that if you're entering here, they are null? In build.zig from the VUI, it mentioned if .msvc before passing the path. Yes, you're right. That's a good point. But they are passed down also in the else branch. So yeah, that part is fine. Hmm. I think the problem is that what is this value here? Yeah, it's just the option, okay. Because it also gets set if there is a sys root. Do remove after 017, okay. Um I don't know. Let's do some printing. I don't think this is gonna work though. Damn. Because I have my own Zig package, and I think I have my own SDL. So I would need to modify my own SDL, not these other dudes' SDL. I think. I'm actually, not 100% sure, but no. Oops. No, I was right. I pasted it right. I'm also gonna add this to check that that my assumption is correct, and then we're gonna use my own. What? 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 Mm, 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 mm. What? Where is DVOI 0.5 coming from? Is it in here? That makes no sense. DVOI should not have DVOI itself in there. Where is wait, what that was SDL 0.5, right? No, this is DVUI 0.5 and DVUI 0.6. Excuse me? Where is DVUI 0.5 coming from? Do I have a double dependency in a Webo? No. Where is DVUI 0.5 coming from? Who who did this? Okay, you know what? Let's get rid of some duplicates from like my Zig package had a bunch of duplicates in it. Um, what the heck is going on? Where was where was this coming from? Okay, these were weird cache shenanigans, I think. I'm adding it back, but I think at this point it's pretty clear that yes, we are using our own, not the one in the other directory. So this is not null. This is not null. And the last one is not null. So I think we can confirm. I think we can confirm that that this logic here is wrong. And and yeah, Okay, there's some evil package that has DVUI as does SDL have DVUI as a dependency, like an old version of it? There's some evil dude in here that is depending on the VUI 0.5. And you know what? I'll catch it. I'll catch it. Uh I'll catch it. SVG to TVG depends on the VUI. So this would not be a problem if I was not forking. Actually, you know what? Now that I changed my own code, which is not even in the UI, that doesn't happen anymore. This is not going to happen now. That's an interaction. So essentially, you can only use fork if all the versions of a package match. If the versions don't match, then it's a problem. In any case, so we got to something else. Underscore location essentials. The heck is that? Okay, so essentially, this is what we need to fix next for macOS cross compilation. Okay, so two things. One is SDL has a broken condition, and the second one is we need to fix this. Who owns SDL? Oh, we're using customs SDL3. Didn't investigate further to BD. Okay, so they want to use SDL from all your code base, but they've been unable to. Oh, that one's Chrome macOS issue. And so right now, Yenamea has this. Okay. What is the correct way of having this fix resurface? Okay, you know what? This is a bit complicated. I'll make an issue for it at this point. So that issue open, and this time for real. Re-enable macOS cross compilation. We're passing all the required. Second reason. Do we have your message anywhere? No, I don't think we do. I haven't contributed a fix because the chain of ownership of SDL seems a bit complicated. Um, there we go. Issue created. So Linux cross compilation works. macOS cross compilation requires this. Thank you, Julian. Thank you very much. By the way, I created the issue now with Radical. If you want to go see the issue, well, you can go from Codeberg. There's the pinned issue about Radical. You click on the Radical link, go to a Webo, and you can see that there's an issue here that I just opened. And you're going to be able to reply to it. Like you need to do the thing to create your own identity on Radical, like the initial setup. But then after that, you will be able to like just trivially reply to it. Okay. So this has been investigated. Now, so Linux cross compilation is working. macOS needs this. Windows. Yeah, Windows is just missing stuff. Invalid conversion between vector type and integer type int of different sizes. Okay, so we can stop here. There's an endless amount of these. Actually, this is not even cross compilation, this is just compilation. Currently targeting let's also be precise. I said these are all about translate C, but do I know that for sure? Do we know that for sure? Yeah. I think this is better representative. Actually, you know what? Maybe all of this. There we go. Okay, so this would re-enable Linux, macOS and Windows, and that is necessary in order to be able to get back CI. What are we seeing these days? Right now, I'm trying to get the Discord alternative project back on its feet. It has suffered a lot because of regressions in our ability to translate C header files because we depend on a bunch of C dependencies. And we're getting back to it. So compiling for macOS works again, not cross compiling to it, but you can compile natively. Linux seems to work. Somebody needs to test it, but Linux seems to work. Windows is completely broken. So once these two issues are fixed, in theory, we will be able to have to get back again in control of everything. And yeah, and in the meantime, we're using that also as an opportunity to try out Radical. So yeah, this is it. We now know exactly what it is that needs to be done. Well, we don't know necessarily everything for sure though, because we don't know what lies behind these problems. Like macOS cross compilation, it really seems to be just this. But after you fix number 2, maybe there's gonna be a third issue that that appears on the horizon. So that's also something that we need to look into. And technically, the same is true for Windows. But I think that there's not a lot past that. So once these are done, we should be good. Which, by the way, I think that Brodo earlier Julian was mentioning that. Did you not say that you were working on AVX stuff? Oh no, ARM improvements. Never mind. Wrong platform. Okay, so yeah. What about ARM Windows? I guess technically we could attempt that. I mean, ARM Windows, that's not a real thing. That's kind of a joke target that people made up. But let's briefly imagine that it did exist. How would we do with regards to targeting it? So it seems that we're doing good compiling FFmpeg. That's good. Ah, there we go. Please include WinSock2 before Windows.h. Um, Darwin C source? What? how how do we end up with Darwin C source defined when we're targeting Windows? What? What is the name of your terminal font? It's Fira code. Actually, no. You know what? Sorry, I got it wrong. It's JetBrains Mono. Wait, we are straight up unconditionally defining Darwin C source in utils.c. Why are we doing this? Why are we unconditionally defining a Darwin symbol? I think there are a bunch of um, tiny details that um, yeah, are just not in place. Well, the good news is that ARM Windows is not a real system, so I'm joking. Actually, I think that they're starting to become a real thing, aren't they? Um, it like ARM laptops are becoming a thing, despite Windows' best efforts to run like crap on them. So, so yeah, that's another thing that needs to be fixed. Let's solve for x86 64 first, though. So there's that. That is that. Okay. Um, let me think. Well, I think I'm gonna stop here, but first, let me think what's gonna be my next objective, right? So we got here. What is the next objective? I guess there are two paths ahead of us. One is do work to unblock the issues that we pointed out. So we could help towards closing them, or we could try to make progress on another front. The fact that we got macOS unblocked actually makes me hopeful that we can avoid some of that. Also, now that I think about it, I think there's some more C translation depth that we still need to repay. If I go in source client and I look in here and I go in media, yeah, look at this guy. Core audio.h.zig. That's one header file that we lost. I don't think there's much else. That is okay. These are not okay. Speaks Resampler and Opus H. So these two guys, okay, we have three header files that we're keeping around translated wrong. And we need to see if we can go back to the original translation. Yeah. So this might be the next thing that we do. And that is not guaranteed to succeed because we might discover that the translate C the translate C just fails to translate them still. Although I do think that I opened issues for this a long time ago, and I think that at least some of the issues that I presented got fixed. I think all of them got fixed. That doesn't mean that all the issues that are present in here got fixed because I reported what I saw. So it might be that fixing those unlocked other things that I haven't reported yet. But I think that this is another thing that we should look into. And then it should be actually a matter of making real progress with Awebo. And what does real progress look like? To be honest, it's been a while. So it's been so long that I don't even remember precisely what progress looks like. I guess progress is having voice calls work. And I think that we still have some issues with regards to that. What exactly are those issues? I don't remember. But we definitely need to test that this stuff works on Linux and that works across multiple devices, regardless of the OS. I'm also tempted to entirely rip out my custom implementation of the audio layer because it's broken, and I need to move away from Audio Engine. So I might as well use Mini Audio, which we are already using technically temporarily, but I might as well just enable that also for macOS and call it a day. And in a sense, cut my losses with my current iteration of the native APIs. That would also simplify, help us bypass some of the translate C issues that we are currently facing. Yeah. So I think this is going to be the plan. Let me write it down for tomorrow. Try to get rid of .h.zig files. Rip out AV Audio Engine. For Mini Audio. This is such a defeat. The fact that like the whole idea was let's use Mini Audio temporarily until we have a better, more native implementation for all OSs. And macOS was the first OS that had its own custom implementation with AV Audio Engine. Unfortunately, AV Audio Engine is a nightmare. Hey, Conceler? I have no idea if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but thank you very much for the tier 1 sub. Thank you. So we're gonna throw away my AV Audio Engine implementation. That's time to cut our losses. And if we do, not if, but when we decide to tackle this again, we do that with Core Audio. We stop trusting Apple with telling us which more higher level API we should trust, because we can't trust anything. We cannot trust what they tell us. The only API that we can trust is Core Audio, period. So if we do this work again, it's going to be Core Audio. And actually, sorry, when we do this work again, it's going to be Core Audio. So this is it. Then after we do this, I guess the next step is going to be just make voice calls work better. That's literally it. Because I think that there are some bugs still when people join calls and leave them. And I don't remember precisely what it was, but I have experienced this. And so we need to diagnose these problems, I think. There's also more CRUD stuff that we could look into, like stuff related to permissions and stuff. But right now, it seems to me that the messaging is not important. Right now, to me, it seems that the main priority, like I feel it in my bones, the main priority is having voice calls working. Also because we've been doing voice calls on Jitsi for a while with the Zig core team. And it would be nice to be able to get off of that. It's going to be a while before that actually works, because that, for us to really be able to get rid of Jitsi, we need webcam and screen share support on all the 3 OSs. And right now we only have screen share implementations. macOS is the only OS that has all the screen share stuff implemented. So somebody has to do some work. That is for sure. But at the very least, let's try to get audio working flawlessly. That would be nice. Okay, so this is gonna be my plan going forward with regards to Weibo. Hey, Antlang, thank you for the Prime sub. Great to see Weibo is back. It is. Also, thank you for the. I don't know if you were here listening a moment ago, but I was talking about the mini audio implementation, which you contributed, right? I'm not misremembering. So I was pointing out that it's such a defeat that I was kind of like resisting accepting mini audio as an implementation because I wanted to have all the custom stuff done. But then I got deep into all the AV audio engine implementation, which turns out to be the wrong abstraction layer, despite Apple telling you that it should be the right one. And so I was saying that it's such a defeat that I'm about to rip out AV audio engine entirely. Hey Unka, thank you for the Prime sub. Okay, thank you everybody. Holy shit. So it is such a defeat, but it's part of life. So we're getting rid of AV audio engine. We're gonna stick with mini audio for a while more. And then once the time comes to actually redo the audio backend from scratch for macOS, I'm gonna do it pure core audio, no other things in the middle. So yeah, Weibo is back, baby. Also, for people who were not here earlier, who somehow might be interested in contributing, or they're just I don't want to call it a Weibo curious. In any case, if you're a little bit curious, so the official Weibo stuff is on not on GitHub, it's on Codeberg. Weibo chat, Weibo. So this is currently our official repository, but I opened an issue which is now pinned about moving collaboration temporarily to Radical. So you should expect the new issues and PRs to be created on Radical. So here there's a link to my Radical node. You click on a Weibo, and it's another Forge, except that this one is distributed and peer-to-peer. And in here, I created 2 issues for the stuff that I was looking at earlier today. I can zoom in a little bit more. So we're gonna move this stuff temporarily to Radical, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, this is it. Let's go. Let's see how it goes. Mini audio can help to move faster and focus on the other stuff. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So in the end, you know what? Putting a Weibo on hold for a while was the right move. The breakage that we experienced with regards to C interoperability was brutal, and at the same time, facing these breakages is actually allowed us to open issues and do some of the work necessary to unblock ourselves. So we helped move Translate C forward. I mean, Julian is still doing that, right? He mentioned that he had a bunch of patches, a PR ready for it at the very least soon. So we suffered, but it's good, because if we had decided to stick to an older version of Zig where everything kept working, essentially we would have just delayed the inevitable. We would have eventually had to upgrade, and which we want to also because of all the async stuff that's coming to Zig. And so that would inevitably had led us to facing the same problems that we ended up facing already. But now we are not really out of the weeds yet, because we have some of our targets are still a little bit broken. We're getting there. And in the meantime, I had the opportunity to move forward with with my static site generator, which is good because it definitely needed some love. So all in all, that's not bad. Yeah, and now we're getting back to it. Okay, let me see if there's anybody doing Zig that I should raid. Search tags Zig. Oh, there's nobody zigging. Okay, well, since nobody is zigging and I also don't see toggle bit, I'm gonna be lazy. I'm sorry. Now that there's a bunch of people doing like AI all the time, man, I don't even feel like scrolling through stuff, dodging all the C++, JavaScript, LLM stuff. So I'm just gonna call it a day. Thank you all, and